Just now, you've mentioned that some Chinese companies are investing in Jamaica. If there are other companies, other Chinese companies want to invest in Jamaica, what do you recommend they take a closer look into?
Well, the structure of Jamaica, probably you would have heard that we have a new ambassador here now, so we have the continuity of contact. I have been encouraging Power China, for instance, to come equally in. China Harbour was whom I brought in first overall. I met today with Sinoma, which, as you know, is the largest manufacturer of cement, but has ties in with it. Then, of course, GISCO I came here and completed the establishment agreement. They are now in Jamaica, fully operational, fully on target in terms of the structure that we have. We have accommodated some 286 Chinese workers and contributors, engineers, etc., in the passing of technology and work. We have an agreement of how we move that forward. We're expecting 300 to 400 more Jamaicans to be employed as quickly as possible. They have a port, Port Kaiser, which is one of the deepest ports. And Jamaica's logistics is very well structured. You can move from road to rail to sea to air. What we have to do is move that in a smooth transition. So I'm dealing with things like open skies. I'm welcoming to look at Chinese airlines who would come to form an operating company in Jamaica, place their planes there, because what I want to do is fly people from the Far East across Africa into Central and South America through Jamaica. Because the outreach and the issues of how you move goods and services is Jamaica is very well positioned, and the expansion of the Panama Canal has expanded that. MRO for aeroplanes is another major issue, and the movement of cargo, because as you move cargo more by air, you also need the feedback in terms of how you sell back the product somewhere else. And that's where Africa comes a very important part for me in my plans in a South-South trade development.
So it seems to me that Jamaica can be functioned as a logistic center for North America, for South America, and the other part of the world.
And as I pointed out even to discussions today, it takes you 4 days to move goods in China from your manufacturing sector to the middle of the country. Now, if I can reach New York in 4 hours, London in 7 hours, all of the South Coast, and then I can reach back to Africa in 12 to 14 hours, then you can see I'm equally positioned for you to store goods and services and feed it backwards also. So that basically, yes, I think that Jamaica can be the 4th or 5th node of a logistic development that can move goods and services, and that's what the Air-O-Tropolis is about. That is equally what the development of the bauxite industry, and may I say the revival of the railway, because we have the 2nd oldest railway in the world. And all our ports are connected to the railway. So we already have the infrastructure. What we need is the capital, the investments, and the technology to support that position.
So can China support in these 3 fields?
That's precisely what I'm here for. That's precisely what we've been able to achieve. Because I have been speaking to, and I have to pay a great respect to your chairman of the Chinese Development Bank, because you must remember the first time that I proposed any such approach for an investment was in Trinidad and Tobago, I think in 2008. So to see that come to a fruition of 700 million, to see the areas made available for the development along the North-South Highway, and therefore to now begin to see what it means that you can link the air concept to that whole aspect, and see you involved in bauxite and open mining and moving as we can solve the energy supplies. This is where it's very important for us to continue the association with China, to learn very much from you, and ask for the transference of technology and the support which I think we've been able to achieve so far, and which I certainly cherish and appreciate in terms of all that I have tried to do in bringing the country's investments together.